Matt Bryant on for the point after. It's good, and that gives the Falcons a 7-0 lead. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards. And it's 2nd and 2. If these kinds of lanes are available, you have to feel like he's going to have a pretty big game on the ground.
Yeah, you can tell early on he's got a little burst in his step, and that's a big pickup right there on first down.
2nd down following the run. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. Past the 20. Touchdown, Vikings. Stephon Diggs, 67 yards. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
Bridgewater to throw it. And it's caught. He's got it. So they go for 2. They convert, and along with it, they'll take an 8-7 lead. Well, they got down 7-zip. They said, we'll go for 2, one up you, and they take the lead.
How about that for a little risk-reward, right? If you don't get it, you're only down a point. Let's go ahead and make a statement in this ball game, and that's exactly what they did.
Forbath out to kick this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And some room to roam now. And what a return. He's all the way down to the 30.
Forget the idea of flipping the field. They have now put themselves in a position to score points with that big-time return.
And here now come the Falcons. It's been an awfully slow start for them. This is their 3rd possession. They don't have a first down yet.
So that means they have to change up what they're doing, and for some teams, it's a change in tempo, usually moving it to more up-tempo type of an offense, just to try and change their fortunes right now. What they've been doing so far isn't working. Maybe they'll do that.
They'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave them with 2nd and a yard.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on first down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
On 2nd down, Ryan. They'll set up the screen for Freeman. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
Now the offense lining up 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up 1st and goal.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
They come out with one back and 3 tight ends. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Austin Hooper from 4 yards out. And the Falcons are in for 6. Boy, it's nice to have that big, reliable target you can go to.
Each and every time. A lot of people see that position as a fallback. Throw it to them when all else fails. Not at all. This guy can make plays, and that's exactly what...
And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Here's Bosher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
So conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Murray. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box. And guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Back to the ground. This time Cook. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And nothing but daylight Vikings. A big play there. 89 yards. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. They blitzed defensively there, but he was able to slip through that first layer, and then he was gone.
I think they won the leverage game, didn't they?
Yes.
Right? They saw the blitz coming. That got to him a little bit, but they leveraged it perfectly and found not just a crease, a gigantic hole. And off he goes, and he's still going all the way to the end zone.
Now Bridgewater. His throw incomplete. Well, split the difference, and they're right where they would have been with 2 PATs. They got the 2-point conversion the first time. They failed there.
Interesting, isn't it? Because the first time you go after your first score, that feels like a gamble. The second time when they tried it again, that felt like, what the heck, right? Because, as you said, even if you miss it, you split the difference, and you're right on schedule at 14 points.
And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. Now a play fake here on first down. Looking downfield for Jones. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Following the interception, here's Bridgewater. The left side caught by Diggs. The 30. The 20. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Stephon Diggs. An 80-yard touchdown. And the Vikings get the quick strike touchdown. Still first quarter, 2 receiving touchdowns for him. How are they going to slow him down?
I think they're thinking about altering their game plan. Whatever they came in with, now maybe you switch a better cover guy to him. Or you make sure you have more people in his general area wherever he lines up to at least try and discourage them from throwing the ball to him.
Protection was great. He had time to set up a campsite. But in the secondary, though, they were ready.
And I think that in most places on the field, if you have that much time to throw the ball, someone's going to shake free and you'll find an open receiver. But condensed near the goal line on a 2-point conversion, all that extra, there's not any extra field. So it kind of closes in on them, and that allows you to cover a little bit better.
Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And an alley to run. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Well, he did a nice job keeping his eyes downfield, waiting for someone to get open. But once the pressure forced his eyes down to see the rush, it was time to make a break for it.
They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. They toss to Freeman, and they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. So he loses 3 yards. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
We might start getting some props here in the booth. That one that says the D and then the fence that you put up next to it. How about that? They brought out the jumbo package and still couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage enough to pick up that 1st down.
Impressive. They were ready defensively for that jumbo set. Here we go on 4th down with Ryan. And this is incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. And these highlights here showcasing the solid game he's had.
Well, someone woke up and felt good about themselves there, didn't they? I have to feel that he came into this one with the idea that, yeah, I can do this.
So they take a big chance here in their own territory, and you think The coach may have some questions to answer.
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room?
Yeah.
Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Bridgewater now on second down. Throwing right, and that's complete. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great play there with his second touchdown here in this first half. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. And always a good first half when you can hit pay dirt twice.
And it never hurts to have that good feeling as the game moves on. Just think about halftime. If that's all he gets, he'll just sit there at the half and think, all right, 2 already. I can get some more. I can get some more. And he'll be encouraging his offensive line to create some space.
So they're able to throw it in for the 2-point conversion. Sometimes that can be a risky play, but they got it.
Yeah, you always have to be careful here because if you do get it intercepted, it's returned by the defense, that's 2 points for them. But he identified an open target and put it right on him.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. And back onto the field now comes Devontae Freeman. And for him, it's been pretty limited involvement down on the scoreboard. Maybe time to turn to this guy.
And you know me well. Winning games to me means starting with the running game and continuing to press the running game. Maybe you go away from him a little bit now, but the bottom line is he hasn't touched it enough to make a difference.
Well, they haven't established that running game yet. The question is, will they? Forced out to his left. Ryan hit, and he lost the football. And this belongs to the Vikings.
When I see a play like that, I come back to risk-reward. I don't know about you, but is it worth it at that point, whatever you're going to pick up, to either take the hit, and in this case, lose the football?
So it should have gone down. I mean, hindsight's always 20/20, but that's the safe play.
You're exactly right. Hindsight's really never wrong, is it? Because you can analyze it, but I think ultimately you got to look at it as a first option, taking care of the ball, getting what you can, and that's it. Don't worry about it anymore.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Well, last year, I'm not sure we saw very many of those runs, did we, from the Vikings? I mean, they had the poorest rushing attack in the league.
Just 75 yards per game, but carries like the one we just saw, that'll help bolster that average.
Yeah, certainly, and they tried to beef up the offensive line in the offseason, brought in Latavius Murray, and then drafted Dalvin Cook out of Florida State.
Bridgewater now looking to throw on first. And I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. The 40. 20, 10, 5, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Falcon defense has a touchdown. Well, Deion Jones and pick sixes are going together like peas and carrots. Oh, boy, he had 2 of those, though, as a rookie last year.
And I know part of the reason is his speed. He's one of the fastest linebackers that you're going to find in the NFL. But another part is he's not very tall. Sometimes he gets lost in coverage. When a quarterback's looking downfield, he just doesn't see it, and he ends up making big plays.
One of those pick sixes last year, 90-yard return against Drew Brees in his hometown of New Orleans. And this one's back to an 8-point game. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Getting set to go here, Teddy Bridgewater and company marches back onto the field. They've sort of epitomized balance. I mean, he's thrown the ball pretty well. They've run the ball well. Got to be pretty happy over on that sideline.
Takes a lot of pressure off, doesn't it? As much as those guys back there want to throw the ball around and be the focal point, when you're able to run it well and hold the defense back from their pass rush, it allows you to throw it as well as we're seeing so far in this game.
Yeah, now they'll be looking to add to their lead here in the second quarter. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on first down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
The second down throw for Bridgewater. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. We'll give him 10 yards on that one, and that'll earn him a fresh set of downs.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
Bridgewater. He's going to air one out. And now another turnover as this one's intercepted. Picked up by Robert Alford. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
A reminder, with halftime approaching, when we get there, we'll ship you off to Orlando. Larry Ridley will have first-half highlights and analysis.
And I hope he's iced down his throat, because he's got a lot to get through, because we've had no shortage of points scored in the first half.
It has been a fun track meet. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. On 3rd down, that's Freeman. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up the 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. The offense stays put. They've failed twice already in this first half, but they're going to go a 3rd time here on 4th down. They'll try and throw for it here. And for the third time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he will take it across midfield and down to the 45. So that is 3 interceptions now in this first half, and you hate to ask the question, but let's be honest, we're thinking about it. Do you need to go in a different direction next series?
Potentially. We know that he's probably not going to be on the Pro Bowl ballot. That's not really his stature here, but he has been their starting quarterback for this game. So they've got to weigh things about who's behind him. Do they think he can snap it back into gear? Maybe change up the play calling to help him out a little bit.
Getting set to go again on offense. We get a peek at Julio Jones now. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us. But sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. On first down, Ryan. Oh, he tried to pitch it, and the ball's loose. And, oh, that is going to be a safety. And you know the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. Oh. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. Returning here is Wright. And an alley to run. They start the drive with Cook. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be second down. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. Taking it in. And the Falcons have cut it to within a score. And all of a sudden, we've got a ball game. They get the touchdown. Then on the kickoff, they get another touchdown, picking up the fumble, taking it to the house in just a matter of moments. 2 quick scores, Charles.
Every time we start to neglect special teams and big plays that occur off of them, something like this happens that reminds us we've got ourselves a game now. I don't know about you, but I can't wait for a few years of 2-point tries and see what the data tells us, because a lot of teams want to throw the ball in this situation, this time unsuccessfully. I just wonder if maybe running the ball might be the way to go.
With it moved up from the 3 to the 2, you would think maybe a few more attempts at running.
I think stats...
And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And the Falcons grab it. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. Taking it in. And the Falcons have taken the lead. So problems here on special teams, and it results in the scoop and the score.
They talk all the time on special teams about keeping your head on a swivel, trying to see the whole field. Hard to do when things are going that fast, bodies all over the place. You're just trying to find the right guy to align yourself with. On that play, wow.
That's fielded in the end zone. Pushing through the contact. And he'll be out of bounds across the 25. And out now come the Vikings. They're close game, but they're going to need to do a little bit better probably here in half two, no?
I would agree with that totally. I would guess it in the locker room. They talked about cleaning up some of the errors, but overall, I think they wanted to be positive with them. Guys, we're right there. Just not playing as well as we need to. Let's pick it up, and we still have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, they do. We'll see if they can pick it up. 9 yards is the pick up there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner, but where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football? If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a game. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And heavy contact. He is knocked down hard. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
And that's one of the few times they've been able to contain him. He's had a heck of a game, and maybe he's getting a little bit tired from how many times he's carried the ball. But I always think back to what all those old coaches say. The ball's not that heavy. Keep carrying it, kid.
On 3rd and 1, here's Bridgewater. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he's got a 1st down as he's up to the 48. 12 yards there as they move the chains.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. To throw, Bridgewater. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And the Falcons grab it, and they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Brian Robinson able to get in there and take him down for a loss of 3. On 2nd down, Freeman. And some room to work. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Devontae Freeman, 39 yards. And the Falcons capitalize on the fumble and turn it into 6.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run. And one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Here's Bosher to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he probably should have stayed in the end zone as he'll muster a return up to only the 14-yard line.
But conventional football, football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive. Almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Here's Murray now as they run it to start the drive. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up 2nd.
these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Second down, Bridgewater. Now he's hit, and Bridgewater loses the football. And they get to Bridgewater. Bridgewater taken down in the end zone for a safety. And Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preach, it's coach, it's thought about.
So out come the Falcons now. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. Off the play fake to Freeman. It's Ryan. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Anthony Barr from his outside linebacker spot, forcing the sack for a loss of 8. Now Ryan, and the pressure gets to him again. Sharif Floyd in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. They're indeed going for it as they look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he'll be taken down just shy of the 40. They'll get 23 yards there. And it'll give the Falcons a first down. Boy, that's some kind of effort. When he caught it, I doubted if he could get there. Knew it was going to be close, but credit him. Really good effort.
How about the rack on that play, the run after catch? But most of the time we think of it as just being an open field and picking up yardage. Sometimes you have to be real physical in order.
And this is taken in at the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta.